Hello guys, today we will talk about little bit obscure rifle, and that's SIG SAUER 516. Why obscure? Well, mainly for the reason that it's not manufactured anymore. It was manufactured only between 2010 till 2019. What it is, it's a AR-15 basically, but with piston driven. Heckler Koch is called 416 and the SIG SAUER is called 516. Even in the manufacturing team, supposedly there was a person that was involved in the development of the Heckler Koch 416. Later came to SIG SAUER and they developed this one. My belief is that the main goal for development of this rifle was the contract for rearming the Indian army. That actually end up to adopting few of these, but mainly in 308 Winchester 7.62x51. We in Ukraine got small shipment of those in the autumn of 2022. It was only one of a little batch. I must say the troops that are armed with those generally really like them. It's very rare to see one of those broken, but compared to, for example, CZ brand 2, we have really very small number of those in our forces. This is 14.5-inch barrel variant. We have a classic birdcage, which performs okay, but me personally, I prefer flash hiders with longer prongs. Then we have probably the most controversial part, and that's the quad rail handguard. The issue is that there is no standard system of piston-driven AR-15s. All of them vary slightly. So basically the only handguard that you can get on this type of rifle is the original quad rail, which is by default heavy, or extremely light carbon handguard made by Lancer in cooperation with SIG SAUER, but that one is actually too light for military use, and it's really just a thin piece of carbon with some aluminum details. So you have only both ends of the spectrum, very rugged but heavy, and then very light but more to the sporty side of things, nothing in the middle. What we're getting here is a 3-position gas plug. The gas piston look like so. It of course detaches from the plug if we want, like so. Here is our plug, here is our piston. Very tight fit thanks to the gas ring. Assemble it together is no problem. And that's mainly because this is generation 2 of the SIG 516. The first generation had actually here long thread, which is terrible choice for gas block to removing the plug having a long thread. This is really much better, and this is the industry standard. So yes, thanks to the quad rail, it's a bit front heavy, but the gas block have rail on it, so it's no problem to place your laser aiming device. This is electronic devices D-Ball A2, also known as PEC 15A. This one was bought thanks to your donations from Afghanistan. Just for your interest, this one costed 1,000 euros. Which, yes, is expensive, but compared to the market in Europe, it's still a great price. We getting our QD mount points, our standard affair on the upper, our forward assist, our window cover, and our charging handle, which is not ambidextrous. It's just a very classic one. Me personally, I would prefer ambidextrous, but this one works well. Really no problem there. Our controls are executed really very well on this rifle. In my opinion, we're getting standard AR-15 bolt release, very good action on the safety. Of course, we have our full auto. Then we have amazingly executed mag release on the left side of the weapon. It's very nicely fenced, so you don't trigger it without wanting to. Something that is a huge issue on brand 2. You can just press it up, get your mag out, your bolt hold open. It's also a little bit bigger, the pedal, so I can manually put the bolt back without any troubles. And that's it. The release bolt, no problem there. The trigger is classic mil-spec one-stage trigger. On the lower, we have a little bit beefier magwell. Like we have slightly more aluminum than you would have on your standard AR-15, so that adds to the ruggedness a bit. The only part I changed on this one is the trigger guard, because it had the straight one, classic M4 one. This one is better for use with winter gloves. The pistol grip, it's standard SIG Sauer. It really reminds me a lot Magpul K2, because it have really ideal volume. It's a little bit more vertical than standard, and I think it's very good one. We getting our QD mounts in the rear, and then we getting our Magpul stock that coming as standard with this rifle. On top we have EOTech that sits a bit low because it's not the quick detach version. So it might seem like that you actually don't see over the laser, but you actually do. Only the bottom of your 68 MOA circle on the reticle touches top of the laser. So the laser take out a little bit of your field of view, but it's still completely manageable. The only real malfunction I seen with this type of rifle was when one of our guys got it issued brand new out of the box, and it didn't have any lubricant inside, like no oil, not even a residue of oil. It was just bone dry. So after like third shot, it didn't cycle properly, but just few drops of oil, and that gun ran amazingly after that. And generally these rifles, they run without any stoppages. What is important to know that the recoil is a little bit harsher than on the standard AR-15. That's thanks to the piston system. So after you shoot, you feel short, sharp kick at start of the recoil, but it's completely manageable. It's not that long push that we are used to out of AR-15. It just behaves like a typical piston gun. This particular gun, it's a weapon of our marksman, so when he's not on his marksman duties, he's using this one. And I think for this purpose, it serves really great. Even as your main rifle, there is really nothing wrong with it. So if you happen to have SIG Sauer 516 at home, I think you are pretty lucky. It's very good modern assault rifle, but unfortunately SIG tends to do this. Firstly, launch something onto the commercial market, run it for a few years, and then completely ditch it. So unfortunately, that was destiny for this rifle, but we are fortunate enough that on the current market, meaning in America, there is so many piston-driven AR-15s that the concept is still alive and well. Is it better than the DI guns, like the direct impingement system, like on your classic M4? I think it might be slightly better, but it's definitely not a decisive factor for me. So thank you very much guys for watching, and see you in the next video.